This is something that I've been working on for some time now. An exploration and combat style game with a story. Story of Seraph. Virtual reality, destroyed planets, and some killer monsters. You might have seen me post a video with a similar concept and style, but this time we're going deeper. You see, I always loved story games. Stories in general were always something that I think of when I think of gaming. I remember when I was a kid and I remember playing this game called Fahrenheit, or I watched my mom play The Witcher. I always thought that these guys created something that stuck with me for a very long time. And I remember thinking, I want to create something so good that resonates with people that they feel sadness once they finish. To kind of finish a game and to sit back and think, my god, this was a journey. To be sad that those characters you interacted with and resonated with are no longer there because you finished the game. I want to create stories that inspire people, make people laugh and feel unique. Now I have experience in making games. On this channel alone I created multiple videos where I create some game in some time limit, or I set myself a challenge of recreating a game that already exists. And more often than not, I had projects where I started and I wanted to finish but I never did because of the lack of planning. But that's still good because I've still learned a lot by repeating. Making new different things and ideas, making unique games, recreating them and kind of learning my process of what works and what doesn't. But finally I'm able to say that I found the one. I struggled a lot in the beginning actually thinking of what I want to do and what I want to make and what kind of games I want to create. What's the best way to tell a story? Do I want guns, survival games, swords? I couldn't find the right itch to scratch. But then I remembered something. I remembered a childhood moment, a moment where I was watching Ninja Turtles and I was always like, what the hell does Donatello do? Like, he has a staff? Who is he gonna kill with a staff? What's he gonna do with that? So naturally, because that resonated with me so much, the first weapon you have in this game will be a staff. You can do combos, special attacks, combine the two, anything you would like. And it's gonna be from a top-down perspective. Why? Simply because it's easier for me to make. In the past you could see me create videos in first person, like first person shooters, or in third person when I was recreating Star Wars for example. And I often learned that making those games look good or not trash is really difficult. Because the players are so close to the action, you can see a lot of flaws. You can see that the animations are really not that great, or the movement is a bit wonky, or maybe terrain is not polished. And this all affects the player's immersion when actually playing the game. With the top-down perspective, I'm actually taking the player further from the action to save myself for doing stuff that matters a lot more. So I don't have to focus on little details, because you actually won't be able to see them from afar. You can actually see an example of this when I'm actually creating terrain. And I have an example actually on how a first-person game looks like when made in terrain, and like, you can see that it's really not that good. It seems like a browser game and it doesn't really look good. With this game, I realized that the game needed a style. Now, as a solo indie game developer, I can only do so much. I think I can program anything that I want for this game, but making models and animating and maps, that's gonna be quite difficult. So always I have to think of what actually helps me and what I can use to actually push the game forward to be something that I want, while the stuff that I'm not really good at, I ask for help. Or in terms of models, I actually scavenge the Unity asset store for some assets. And like many other people or game developers in the past or in the future, I chose polygon assets because they are the most quality. But still, after this, everyone can see that I actually use store-bought assets and it doesn't really look good. And what I was going to do is create a toon shader for it, so I can give a little bit of variety to the assets, and making all of the colors look flat makes for a really good looking style. Now for the story, which was my most important part, I wanted to create something great. And to summarize it just a little bit, an apocalypse happened in the universe. People began to be connected with technology more and more. They've seen their world falling apart because of capitalism, money, inequality. So they started to seek comfort in virtual reality, creating the lives they wanted to live. Soon enough, their virtual reality lives were so much better that they didn't have a reason to go back. So they connected their brains to the headsets more and more, all while an evil man by the name of Vortex Ignatius started abusing their behavior and started controlling them. You are a hero that was able to put down the headset and head on to the universe to save humanity by disconnecting the program, thus making all of the people free. Okay, so now you probably want to see what I actually made so far. Well, let me actually show you. This is what's called a home planet. In here you have a lot of things to prepare you for the battle of the universe. You visit this place every time you die. And in here you have some really important things like this health vendor, which for red crystals can sell you potions. You can upgrade potions and things like that. This one right here is the upgrade vendor. With him you can get things like the damage upgrade, duration upgrades like increasing your attack speed or maybe duration of the special attack, reducing cooldowns for absolutely everything, also the ability to upgrade dodge, reducing cooldowns and buying a double dodge or a triple dodge, upgrading health and your movement speed. This is all purchased with green crystals. Crystals can be found in the universe on a lot of different occasions, like maybe some monster will drop it after death, but when you kill a boss you will get some for sure. This last vendor is a class vendor. This cool looking dude will teach you skills for you to use different classes or weapons. For example, you don't have to have a staff if you don't like it. You can have a sword or double swords. But other than that, you can actually upgrade the current class whichever it currently is. And lastly, we come to this portal. This is what will take you from safety to unknown. To disconnect the program, you will have to go through multiple planets, and every single one of them is different, with different monsters, different things to explore and to see. So far we have started on the first planet called Xertos. You can find longer inscriptions on the planet about what happened with this planet, but to summarize this one, a barren planet with vast deserts of sand where once thriving industries now lie in ruins. The atmosphere is filled with yellow acidus haze and the planet's wildlife has mutated into dangerous and aggressive monsters. Every planet you visit will have a story of its own, but also its own monsters. Currently I made several like these flying bats, egglets, earthworms, scorpions, but also to proceed to the next planet you will also have to defeat the boss. Currently I made this Lord Bat, which at first will melee you, then he will summon these shots from the sky and then he will try to shoot you from afar, and the final stretch will be him unleashing every single one of those attacks on you. But not only do you have to beat one planet and you're done with it, you're never gonna see it again. Sometimes you figure out that on the next planet you actually needed to find something on the previous one. Planet Etheria, which is still not done, you need to have something that filters the air since the atmosphere there is toxic. There will be more episodes to come, kind of explaining the game and what I'm currently doing, but for now this is it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to see the next episode and I will see you in the next one.